So we're at the end of our first day check.
Looks like I've got another rat.
Actually caught a beaver on it last night. I'm sitting up here helping a friend of mine with some problems. He approached me and says he has coons eating his deer feed. A couple of things there. Obviously, you know, that's not my style to feed deer, but who am I to judge? And two, you know, the coons, quite possibly I may not even be able to get rid of them because of the market. But I certainly didn't say anything about that. I used that as a situation to get permission to trap other critters. So this is a big wooded lot, and it's just got a huge road going all the way around this lot. And where I'm sitting at and what I'm doing is I'm using these intersections right here, and I'm going to set 1 or 2 sets at every single intersection through here, depending on how things look. So I'm going to start. The wind is blowing kind of to the left here where I'm at, so I will for sure have one over here, but I'm probably also going to stick one over along this little wood pile here. We'll get some bait and then we'll get her baited up. This is just ground beaver with some various musks and oils in it. Probably had to give it a little more than that to work for. Okay. And then last thing I'll do is just quick little pour of Dunlap's Red Gland, and that's ready to go. So here's the other set. We ended up making a cubby out of this log, this wood pile. It's got a beaver leg that's sitting up in there. It's covered enough that nothing ain't gonna see it from the air. And then what we'll do, whoa, it's a little skunk grease. Just throw it in there. And then a little, bobcat rub. Find me a little stick to work with here. And what I'll do on this is just kind of smear it right up on here. I want it where they have to go over the trap to get to it. And then just a quick finishing touch here. Just a squirt of bobcat urine right there, and that's good to go. You can't see the trap, but my pan's back here because I've got this brush here, I've got this here, I've got the logs. There's already a natural funnel kind of coming this way, so I chose to place my trap right here. They'll for sure have to go over to get to this. That's a good set. This is kind of aimed towards bobcats. We'll see what happens. I'm sitting right here at another intersection. And again, the wind's still blowing over this way. Kind of sorted this way. So I've got my trap set with the wind blowing across the road, across the intersection. You're going to notice a theme with these traps, and I preach the same thing all the time. I don't do anything overly complicated here. I set in a good location. I bed it solid. Make sure the ground don't freeze, and that's about it. Something I did here, I had a lot of leftover dirt after the set. I piled it up in front of the hole right here. That looks like a natural hole that, you know, a coyote or anything's gonna dig up. And so that just keeps it looking natural. That's something that I'm a fan of. Get some of this beaver bait down in here. I got this hole pretty deep. Since my beaver bait's pretty skunky, I'm not also going to use a skunky lure, because I've got plenty of skunk smell here. What I'm going to do instead, for curiosity's sake, is just a little Caven's Minnesota Red. And those red fox glands are really attractive to coyotes. And my trap's pan sitting right about here. Just perfect clearance from this pile of dirt. It's really good to catch whatever comes through here. I haven't talked a whole lot about it here in this particular spot, but you know, you always hear people preach set on sign. And you know, I know there's plenty of people that wonder, well, what if you don't have sign? You know, what if you're in a place where you've got a leaf bottom or, you know, a grassy field and you don't see the sign, you know? You know, in those circumstances, you know, like where I'm at right here, you just have to kind of know their travel patterns and know what your critters do. And these man-made roads that run through woods like this, everything uses those. Everything. Okay? Where I'm at right here, I have a three-way intersection. Over that way, down that way, and down this way. So right here, I'm going to put in one set, and that because the wind's blowing the smell back over here, so no matter which way the animals are coming, they're going to get a whiff of whatever I put there. And I'm probably going to just set another one right over there, on the side over there, just, you know, just in case the wind switches or whatever, you know. So, you know, look for your travel patterns, your ridges, your edges, like your banks, your natural funnels, you know, anything like that. Even if you don't have sign, if you know the animals are there, look for the natural funnels. Setting up here, I've got a road and then another road. Okay. When I originally tried to set this up, I couldn't because it's so rocky. I couldn't even get my stake in. Okay. Now, trapping is something that there is no generic answer for anything. You adapt and overcome. Okay. So, what I've done is I've come back with a drag. And I'm going to bed a trap in here now. See, I'm already hitting the rock. Now this is so rocky here, I can't even dig my hole, okay? And that's bad. So, in this instance, what I'm going to do is use a liquid bait. I'm going to get out my beavertail oil, and that's the route I'm going to go with this. And a good skunky call lure as well. Let me get that and we'll get her done. Take a little squirt of beavertail oil. I'm going to squirt it on like ketchup on a hamburger. I want them to have to work for it. And I'm also just going to take a real quick splash of Dunlap's Red Gland on this edge, and I want a call lure, and since this is pretty mild stuff I'm using, I'll put some Caven's Gusto there too, and that is good enough. I do see something that I need to address here. Get enough dirt from the area to properly cover my trap. So that's just a quick sprinkle of dry dirt I've sifted from the barn here locally. And that covers up my trap. So that set's ready to go. You can kind of see here what I did. Well, you can't see it now, but I've wrapped my drag around the tree up here. And then I've just taken and, since that chain is new, I just covered it up with the leaves from the area. Nothing will even know that it's there. Alright, let's see what happens here. This is my second one of these for the day. This guy's actually a pretty feller. For those of you thinking there's something you can do different to keep these out of your traps, there's not. There's no bait, there's no lure you can put out that a possum ain't gonna check out. They're scavengers, okay? So I always say this, but the only thing you can do for possums is control their populations, just like everything else you trap. Your coyotes, everything. You know, you have to control their populations. And anytime you trap a new property, you're gonna have these. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this guy and remake this set. So I'm down here in this creek bed, and the landowner here, he really wants me to trap coyotes, which is great. You know, I'm all for that. And so he's kind of showing me around the place here, and I'm looking. You know, you see a big steep hill, and then this flat shelf right here. That's a natural funnel. You know, they're going to use this flat shelf as much as possible. And then I look over here on this side of the creek, and you can just see this huge trail. You know, and it kind of comes down right there, and it's running right down, comes out there, and then over here on the other side, it's hard to see it on camera, but there's a humongous trail coming up this side of the bank. Just huge, huge, huge trail. Okay. Now what I'm doing here, let me get some gloves on and we'll get going. I'm looking for the one spot in this trail where I know for a fact my critter's gonna step. And I see that spot already. This is that spot. Real narrow. You can tell just every single animal that's coming through is hitting this spot right here. Okay? So there's the set finished. You know, them critters are gonna come up through here. I've got just a nice little pad for them to step on before they go up on up there. This is a great set. This is probably going to be what I call a high maintenance set. Meaning the deer are probably going to be setting this one off a lot. You know, I'll just stay with it until I catch what I'm after. This is the same creek just further down from where I just showed you. You know, it's hard to see here, but unless you take my word for it, the whole creek is steep creek bank all the way to the river from here on down. Well, you know, if a critter doesn't have to use a spot like that, they're not going to. And if you look here, you see a nice little holler coming down on the side of that. That's what you call a natural funnel. You know, over here there's a hillside, and then over here there's a hillside, and right in between is this natural funnel. Well, look right here. There's a real heavy trail coming down right there. It's hard to see on the camera, but you gotta take my word for it. And then right here where I'm standing, that's the neighbors. Right here where I'm standing, again, hardcore beat down trail right here. I mean, it's just wore out where critters are using this coming over to this side. So no doubt I need to have a set here. And so when I hit places like this, you know, I look for that one sweet spot where I can say with a fair amount of confidence that I can set a trap and know that a critter is going to come here. Okay? And right here, about right there roughly, is where that spot is going to be for right here. So I'm going to set up kind of a combination between a blind set and a flat set. I'm going to set this trap right in their trail. And I'm also going to just smear some lure right there to, you know, just in case they happen to step over the trap, to kind of get them to pace back and forth a couple of times and sniff around and maybe just possibly get caught. So let's set up and get going. Here's my beautiful blind set from yesterday. You know, the thing about spots like this is everything uses them. Let's go ahead and get this thing remade and carry on. I have this set put in here, a dirt hole set. It's at the edge of a cornfield right here on a little road that runs through. 3 times now I've had this set, my bait dug out, trap not tripped. So I stepped on the trap just to see how easy it threw, to make sure there wasn't nothing wrong there, and there wasn't. And if I look real close here, you know, I can see a piece of rabbit hair here. You know, my critters are digging this out from the side right here. Okay? So I'm going to remake my set. And I'm going to kind of block it off on this side here. All I'm doing is taking a small piece of rabbit hair. I'm poking her down in there. I'm giving it a nice squirt of beavertail oil. I'm in the process of making some. I'll have a video for that soon. And then, see if I can find it here. Must be it down here in the bottom. This is it. Skunk grease. Powerful. Just a nice little smear. It's good enough. Now, to solve the problem that I'm having, what I'm going to do is bring just some of this natural stuff from the area up to the sides. Discourage them from coming in at the side. And then just some real quick guiding. Just gonna kind of poke a couple of quick holes right here. Okay. And all I need, my hole's a little deeper than I should have made it. I'm gonna plant corn cob. Always use something natural. And that hole is very well blocked off. I am ready to catch something here. If I really wanted to get crazy, I could take some of this fine grass don't want anything woody, and I don't want anything big. Okay. Okay, that's good enough. Now this is somewhat blended in. Let's see what happens. Boy, look at that. Nice sized coon. This is just a real simple set. All it is the DP with Mark June's ringtail cocktail. It's a smoky fish bait. Didn't even use any lure just because, well, they're going here anyway. Very cool. I'm going to reset this. Nothing overly complicated here, just a simple set. Here I am at this three-way intersection. This trap has been sitting here, gosh, 2 weeks. I freshened up my lure just the other day. And look what we have. And I had a drag set up here. It's still woven around the same trees that it was woven around. This coyote's still sitting here. That's beautiful. Well, he's trying like the dickens to get out of there.